tncradio.live, your commercial driver navigation station.
It's Steve Summers' Overnight Drive, midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central, right here on tncradio.live. Brought to you by Hot Shot Secret.
Good evening. Welcome to tncradio.live. This is Taillights with Larry and Angie Baums. Now reporting live near the population center of America in southern Missouri from their mobile studios. Here's Larry Baum.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Looks like we're going to have a good show. What do you think? Good show today?
Yeah, one of your good friends.
One of my good friends, Chris Richmond. He's been doing everything for a long time. He's been out driving with safety manager and in the office as a dispatcher. So, Chris, are you there? Welcome in.
Yes, I am.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Larry?
I am doing awesome. And you're home right now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Home on vacation, and next week is a big day for you.
Well, this coming week, yeah.
Yeah, birthday?
Yep.
Nice. How old are you going to be?
47.
47. You're still a youngster. You're such a pup. Let's see. So, Angie, you want to say hello?
Hi, Chris. We've actually had the chance. I met him for the first time last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Up in Ohio by his house. And then afterwards went to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah, we went to, the Football Hall of Fame.
Football Hall of Fame. That was really, really cool.
So how long have you two known each other now?
I would say about 17 years.
Yeah, about 17.
Yeah. And how long have you been driving?
Going on 24 years.
Wow. I just hit my 17. Matter of fact, we were friends when I first started driving.
Yes, we were. I helped train you.
You did train me on doubles. I never did doubles before.
So that's what's wrong with him, because you trained him.
Yep.
Now I know who to blame.
Actually, you did a great job. What is the most exciting thing you have seen out there while you were driving?
I've seen a lot. It's hard to pinpoint just one thing, you know?
What about an accident, a crash? Have you witnessed a pretty bad crash?
Yeah, actually, I have. Probably it was just a little while before I met you. I was driving in California, and I was going northbound, and they had a car flip over the center divide and the K-rail and the Jersey barrier and slid across our lanes of traffic on its roof.
How close were you to being involved in that crash?
I actually had to lock them up, and my trailer slid into a tanker that was next to me.
Oh my gosh.
No. Now, was everybody okay?
Oh, yeah. Everybody was fine. What it was is the car had ended up having a blowout and just lost control. Luckily, we all were paying attention and saw it coming, so we were able to avoid them.
Very good. You kept your safe distance and kept your bubble around you.
Yep, kept my way out when I needed it.
Very good, very good. And where is your lovely wife today? Is she going to be able to make it?
Nah, she's still, the grandson's still awake, and he's fussy. He's dealing with a cold right now.
Aww.
So what's the weather like up there? You got snow?
Right now we're getting, we get patches of some snow squalls coming through. It's supposed to be that way till tomorrow, and then maybe some sun again, and then more snow on Thursday.
We had never experienced a snow squall before until last month when we were up in Pennsylvania, and we were down for 34, and all of a sudden our phone went off and it said, "Be prepared for a snow squall." And I've reported on it, but we've never experienced one. And oh my goodness, I did not realize how much wind comes along with a snow squall.
I do not want to experience one of those again.
Yeah, the last time I had one of those when I was driving, I was going through Jersey.
Oh gosh, I don't think I would want to drive in one of those. That's for sure. Well, that's what happened last month with the accident up on the 81. Was a snow squall that came through and caused all those trucks to collide.
That was a big pile up.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So you were a safety manager, and you were a dispatcher, and you were a driver.
Yes, sir.
If you had a choice of doing one of those, which one would you like to do?
Yeah.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I prefer driving over them all.
Less stress, less headaches, probably.
Well, it can be, but I'm not the type of person that I like to be out. I don't want to be behind a desk.
I am definitely not a desk person either.
I mean, I'd rather be out. There's more to see, more to do when you're a driver. And it's a little more freedom being a driver.
Do you have a favorite place that you like to drive to? Is there like a certain spot that you just love driving?
Well, actually, since I've been living in Ohio, I love driving the East Coast. Even during the winter at times, it can be very beautiful.
Yeah, the East Coast is great. I'm not a big New York or New Jersey fan.
Yeah, me either.
I can't stand
New York.
I try to avoid New York with a passion, but it never works.
I like the outskirts of New York.
Yeah, the outskirts of New York are beautiful, just not
New York City.
New York City. Yeah.
Yeah, going through New York City is a headache anytime. So I don't mind New York if I'm going around the outskirts or northern part of New York. I'm fine with it. Jersey's all right. I don't really mind it. There's a few bad areas I don't like in Jersey, but other than that, it's pretty good. Except for Jersey, you're a lot tighter when you're trying to back into places.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that drives me crazy is all the turnpikes that are up there, especially in semi trucks. Some of those, like when I was new driving and I wasn't used to turnpikes, I wasn't used to how narrow a lot of those turnpikes are. It's like, I know they're built for semis, but they don't feel like it. It's scary, especially as a new trucker. It's like, oh my God, am I going to make it through here without scratching the wall?
Oh, yeah. It gets pretty tight.
There are some tight turns there. Yeah, I made a couple wrong turns in Brooklyn that got me kind of scared.
Well, I was going to ask you to...
The nice thing I like now is the company I'm with, we don't actually go into New York City, so I can avoid that part.
Good.
So I was going to ask you, I know you were a safety manager, and you did a lot of the safety things. Is there like anything you can remember? Like, was there an accident that, a trucker was involved in that you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, or an incident that you just couldn't believe happened?
Actually, not when I was dealing with the safety part, but when I was as a manager for a dedicated fleet, and we had a guy that worked for us that actually was learning how to do doubles and actually got trapped and pinned in between a set of doubles.
Oh my gosh, we've heard that happening. That's horrible.
Are you talking about the guy that I trained?
Yes, sir.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What? Okay, you trained him too well.
He just was not a good student.
He just didn't learn the fact that you need to set the brakes so the trailers won't roll when you're hooking up the dolly in between them.
Yeah. He just did not set his brakes, went in between the dollies. The whole truck started rolling backwards, and he stayed behind them.
Oh, my gosh.
Instead of jumping out, and he broke like 3 ribs.
Oh, my gosh, that's all he did.
It backed up into a pole, so it stopped. Otherwise, it would have cut him in half.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was trapped in there.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was scary. I was there when that happened.
That got me going more towards the safety side to help new people and even some of the older veterans that need some help. This is how you should do it safely.
Well, that's a good segue for a question. What is your advice? Because, you've been out here for a long time and you see how truckers drive, and especially the newer. We've got a lot of new trucks out here, a lot of new truckers. What do you think the one piece of advice you would give them? Because in my personal opinion, a lot of the new truckers that are out here don't have as much training as what we had.
Right. What I would tell them, the biggest thing is when you're out there driving, like Larry was saying with the accident I talked about, always leave yourself an out.
Always leave yourself an out.
Right.
And when you stop, always set your brakes.
Yeah, set your brakes. I've seen so many drivers, like pull into a rest area, have to use the restroom so bad, and they just stop the truck, jump out, don't even set their brakes and forget about it. And when they come out, their truck's sitting in the middle of the highway.
Oh my gosh.
And if your truck does stop or start rolling and you're close to the red line, it's a lot easier to just grab that red line and rip it out than to try to jump back in your truck. Because once you pull that red line, your whole truck stops.
Yeah, it'll set the brakes on the trailer.
That's good advice.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to just grab that line and pull it. It'll disengage, and then your truck will stop. It's a lot easier than trying to jump into your truck while it's rolling.
Possibly getting rolled over.
Yeah.
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 That was a good piece of advice. I'm proud of you too.
But the nice thing is with a lot of these newer trucks out there,
we'll come back in a minute.
We'll be right back, guys. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Chris Richmond.
This blog is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. 5 awesome tips for finding safe overnight truck parking. Truck drivers face many challenges in their career, and finding safe overnight truck parking is one of those challenges. After the tragic murder of truck driver Jason Rivenberg, Jason's Law went into effect to help protect the thousands of truck drivers who need to find safe overnight parking. Although Jason's Law was put into place to help drivers, safe truck parking continues to be an issue for truck drivers across America. We've put together a list of tips that'll help you make the process of finding safe overnight parking easier for you. Plan your trip. Pre-planning your trip is something every truck driver should consider doing. Not only does it allow you to map out your overnight parking, but it allows you to map out where you can get fuel and food. Before you hit the road, take a look at your route. Avoid scheduling truck parking in high-crime cities or congested areas. Pro tip: download the app Truck Park. With over 200 secure locations, the Truck Park app allows drivers to schedule their overnight parking in advance, so drivers don't have to worry about driving around to find a parking spot. Not only is it a relief to have your parking spot booked, but it's also more productive with HOS. Also, if you're a member of the Truckers Network, drivers get instant access to a 15% off promo code to use when booking a parking spot with TruckSpot. You can sign up for just $5 a month. Park early. If you don't choose to reserve your parking spot through Truck Park, we suggest parking early. The majority of safe parking spots will fill up quickly before it gets dark. If you can, start driving early in the morning so that when it's time to quit driving for the day, you won't find yourself fighting for a parking space. Park in a well-lit area. Walmart parking lots are an extremely popular location for overnight parking. Why? Because they're well-lit areas. When planning your trip, it may be difficult to know whether they have well-lit parking available. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't feel safe, talk to your dispatcher. They might be able to help you find secure truck parking. Lock it up. It may seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised as to how many truck drivers forget to lock up their truck and trailer for the night. So before you go to sleep for the night, make sure to lock everything. Insert a dash cam. Dash cams are a great way to provide evidence if your truck was in an accident or vandalized. It's always refreshing to know that you have an extra set of eyes on your truck. This blog was brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Remember to tune into the Truckers Network Show with Shelley Johnson. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Don't miss Marcia Campbell, North America's trucking sweetheart, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central on TNCRadio.live.
Welcome back, TNC Radio.live. This is Taillights with Larry and Angie Baum. Now back to you, Larry.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to talk about something very, very sad right now. It's happening a lot more and more and more. And it has happened to me and Chris. And Chris knew him more than I did. But suicide by truck. It's a real thing. And it's happening more and more and more and more. And we got to do something about that. Chris, did you know that guy very well?
Yeah, I did. He had actually started on the account before I did.
What was the situation that happened?
Well, we were on a dedicated account, and he started out on a normal day, driving out the road, and was going down a 2-lane road, 4:00 in the morning. You know, cars going by, going to work. He thought nothing of it. All of a sudden, this Suburban jumps over in front of him at a high rate of speed and just plows into the front of it.
Wow.
And before he left his house, him and his wife got into an argument. And he actually told her, I am going to go out and kill myself. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and she didn't take him serious because he said that to her before.
Right.
Right.
Like in the heat of an argument.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure, a lot of people have said that, but not really did it.
Yeah.
And then he actually goes and did it. Now, that guy, I don't remember his name. Do you remember his name?
No, I don't.
I don't really remember it either. But he actually has never drove again.
Yeah, one thing I have found out through all the years of driving, the hardest thing for a driver, whether it's the driver's fault or not the driver's fault, when that driver ends up getting in an accident and taking someone's life, they're never going to be the same again.
No. Unfortunately, we've known, I think, 3 truckers that have had that. Two of them are still driving, and one of them, he immediately hung up his hat. He was like, there's just no way I can get behind the wheel. The other 2, they still drive, but it still haunts them. And I don't know if I could.
I know I couldn't do it. Even if it wasn't my fault, if it was something that was out of my hands that wasn't my fault, and if I took someone's life, I couldn't get behind the wheel again.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking.
I think if somebody did one of those suicide by trucks on me, if it was just him alone and he didn't have his family involved and nobody else was injured, I think I could drive again because it was him doing it to himself. But if I made a mistake out on the road and I killed a family or even killed one person, I think that would devastate me a lot more, and I probably wouldn't be able to drive. But if somebody used me to kill themselves, I think I'd be able to drive.
Yeah. I don't think
for me, the PTSD would just be, it would be in my mind. Every car I would see coming toward me, I would be like skittish.
Yeah. We actually were just talking about that the other day. That we were talking about how one of the things I think that they don't tell you, especially when you're a new trucker, is, how many accidents and how many fatalities that we see out on the road. And there was a bunch of truckers, we were talking together and we're like, I think we suffer PTSD sometimes from what we see out there in the roads.
There was one time we were driving and it was a bad crash. And one of the paramedics was standing on the engine, hanging inside the windshield, doing CPR, and we had the perfect view of it, and Angie just started bawling. I just thank God I was driving because it hit Angie very, very hard.
I think it was because, I think it was just because it was truckers, to be honest with you. I don't know. Whenever I see a trucking accident, it always hits me harder.
Yeah, and you just saw one the other day.
Yeah.
And see, that's one thing. When I see an accident out there, I'm also have training as a first responder. So I keep equipment in my truck. So if I roll up on an accident and they need help, I'm going to be there to help them.
Has it ever happened?
Yes.
I did not know you had first responder training.
Going north on the highway here in Ohio, and a truck was coming on the freeway too fast and rolled right in front of me.
So what did you have to do?
I actually got my truck stopped. Other cars were stopping and blocking the road, and I grabbed my stuff. I ran up there. I helped get the driver out. I assessed his wounds, rendered first aid to him because it wasn't serious at the time, and kept him calm until actual first responders got there.
Very good. So you actually could have saved his life from stop him from going into shock.
Yes, I could have.
Oh, that's
Awesome, Chris. Awesome.
I did not know you had first responder training. That's very cool.
I did know that, but I forgot.
See how you are, Larry?
And you also had your Crown Vic all decked out with lights and everything, just so you could do something like that.
Yes, I did.
Very cool.
You still have that Crown Vic?
No, I don't.
That was really cool. He had lights all over that thing. It was really cool.
Yeah, I'm actually looking to get an old retired Charger now.
All right, on. So, how are you feeling right now?
Oh, I feel great.
Huh?
We'll do that one next.
Oh, next. Sorry. I was just told to ask that question next. Next segment?
Yes. Yes.
What's the next thing on your list then?
Well, actually, I had a question for him.
Go ahead.
So you trained Larry. So I was going to say, how many people have you trained as far as truck drivers, do you think?
Geez, I would actually say with everyone I've ever trained, it's probably looking at close to maybe 150.
Holy cow.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. And where was I on that list?
You were actually one of my firsts.
Oh, cool.
And did you change your whole way of training after you got done with him?
You have to with training new guys or new people or new women, you just got to actually get to know the person and then set your training that suits them.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually didn't teach me to drive. He just taught me doubles.
That's important.
That's like me. I trained probably about 10 people there, just in doubles though. We really didn't teach them how to drive because we already had experience driving.
Yeah.
Once we came over to that fleet.
Yeah.
But it was my first time with doubles.
Yeah, a lot of people who came onto that fleet had never pulled doubles before, but had their endorsement.
Yeah, and doubles is a whole different ball of wax compared to just pulling a single 53-footer.
Yeah, try pulling triples.
I want to so bad.
Okay, I pulled triples, but only in the yard when I was a hostler.
Trust me, you don't want to pull triples on the highway.
Yeah, I don't think I want to pull triples on the highway. In Wyoming. They'll be blowing all over.
I would love to do it up in Oregon, though.
Rocky Mountain doubles that are terrible, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Or pull the trains, like the 253 footers.
Yeah, trains might be fun. For those of you guys may not know, when we refer to a train, it's 2 53-foot trailers. Most of the time when you guys are on the highway, you'll see, for example, FedEx Ground is known for pulling doubles. Those are, 42-foot trailers?
23.
23 foot, yeah.
28, yeah, 28.
Yeah, and then a train.
I haven't pulled one for so long, I forgot what they were.
I know, it's been a couple years. And then a train would be 2 full-size 53-foot trailers. So that's a very, very long.
That's long.
Yeah, and then Rocky Mountain doubles is a 48 and a 28.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't seen as many of those as I've seen doubles and triples.
It's mostly in Colorado.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
so what was
I've seen quite a few trains going up in Massachusetts on the turnpike. They run them a lot up there.
Yeah, see, we're not in Massachusetts too much. That's probably why we haven't seen too much.
I do love it up there.
Yeah, Massachusetts is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I say, is there a place that you have not driven in yet that you still want to?
Alaska.
Us too.
I'm right there with you. We almost
want to
made
go
it.
up and do the ice roads.
So do I.
So you guys should do that one winter.
We should go up there and team. Well, not team drive, but go there up as a partners and do it together.
You guys both might get fired.
Since I saw the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
He's been trying to get me to do it, so maybe I'll just let you take my place. Get the two of you guys back together.
Oh,
we actually know somebody that has done that, and the person that had this show before us is doing that.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah,
Alex.
Yep.
Alex and Jason.
Yeah, we have a good friend that lives up in Canada. He did it last season. It was pretty interesting watching everything he had to go through. I don't know.
Yeah, his son got sick, so he had to pull out early. But he wants to go back also, so maybe all three of us can do it.
Yep.
Yeah, he said he would do it. He's got connections, so we do have an in for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Ice Road Truckers can handle the three of you guys all up there. They might fire you guys.
Or we may take over their old routine.
They may change everything to run like we do.
That's right. This is better this way. This is better this way. This is better this way. All right, Larry, we'll do it.
Okay, guys, we're going to be right back with Chris Richmond right after this commercial break.
Days at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, right here on tncradio.live.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christopher Cortman, and now for the Mental Health Minute. I was asked this week to speak to a group on bullying. And this is a group of kids from a lower socioeconomic status part of town. And I want to ask them, what is bullying? Where does bullying come from? How does it happen? Do you bully? Do you get bullied? How does this work? Well, we have a lot of research on bullying by now. And one of the things we understand is that people who are bullied often bully themselves. And we know that the bully gets hurt, according to research, and so does the one who's bullied, and so do the bystanders. Everyone who witnesses a bullying event ends up paying a price for it. So if you hang around me, you hear that behavior is purposeful. Everything we do, we get something from, or we wouldn't do it. So why do people bully? Well, it's simple. Very often we bully because we don't feel good about self. And we feel that by putting somebody else down, it helps to elevate ourselves. It makes me feel better about me by subjugating somebody else. So what do we do with that? As soon as we understand that a child has issues with that, we want to interfere. We want to intercede because we understand that they have some deep-rooted issues or they don't feel good about self. And we want to help them to promote self in other ways. According to the great psychologist Dr. Sid Simon, when a person likes themselves, two things are true. Number one, they don't do things to hurt themselves. And number two, they don't do things to hurt other people.
tncradio.live, your commercial driver navigation station.
This is Alec Debogorski. Catch our new show, Taillights, Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central on tncradio.live.
Welcome back to Taillights with Larry and Angie Baum.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, Chris, this is our last segment. I was about ready to start talking about something, so we'll do that now.
Yep.
So, how are you feeling right now?
I feel wonderful.
That's awesome because you just had a pretty major surgery.
It was actually about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, we saw you a little bit after that, and that scar on your chest is pretty big.
Yes.
Were you ever thinking about getting a tattoo and like making it a zipper?
Yeah, I thought about it.
That's what you told me when we saw each other. So what about your surgery? You want to let everybody know a little bit about it?
Well, I had a heart attack. I had come home for my weekend, had a heart attack, and actually ended up going into the hospital and having to have a triple bypass.
That's so scary. I'm so glad it happened when you were at home.
That's what me and my wife said. At least it happened when I was at home and not driving.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long were you in the hospital for?
I was actually only in the hospital for a little over 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
How long did it take you to get back onto the road medically?
Medically, the DOT would clear me after 90 days.
Okay.
How long did it actually take you to get back on the road?
90 days.
Nice.
Wow.
Very good.
I think that's the thing as truckers. I think a lot of people don't understand. And again, that's something we see a lot out here is how many truckers that we see get sick or die in their truck, because a lot of us, we don't really take good care of ourselves out here. We're running so much that we're not eating healthy or getting enough exercise. And, it affects a lot of truckers out here.
Did you have to change your diet at all?
Yeah, I did.
After your surgery?
Yeah, before my heart attack, I was doing a lot of fat and fast food and greasy food. And after I had my heart attack, I started, I go to the store when I'm home on the weekends. And when I'm going back out, I have a rotisserie chicken, I have salad, I have fresh vegetables. I now do all my cooking in the truck.
Yep.
And
what about sodas?
I've actually lost some weight doing that, and my wife's even happy with it.
Ah, nice.
Hey, happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
Well, I knew Chris was cooking on the truck because when we actually met, we were comparing what appliances we had on our truck because we cook on our truck too. But I think that's such an awesome thing when truckers do cook because, first of all, it's a lot less expensive and it's a lot healthier.
A lot healthier.
Yeah,
Most of the options we get out here are fast food, and I'm getting tired of fast food.
Yeah,
I've even cut back on sodas. What about you? Have you cut back on your sodas intake?
Yeah, I've cut down. I still have them, but not as many as I used to.
Yeah, we try to incorporate a lot more water.
Yeah.
And another thing I've done since my heart attack that I'm working towards, I have not completely quit, but I have severely cut down on my smoking.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day.
Yeah, I think the non-exercise, and so many of us truckers out here smoke. And I know for me, I smoke a lot more when I drive because it helps to keep me awake and alert.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to tell my wife when I'm driving, I'm talking to myself and I'm smoking.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to be surveying your surroundings all the time, 24/7. So you have to be alert. And if you don't have somebody to talk to or something like that, it's like first thing I do, grab a cigarette.
Yeah, that was a nice thing when I was able to take my daughter with me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you had your daughter Tiffany out there. That was so awesome.
She's actually grown up pretty much in a truck most of her life, so she was used to it.
That's so cool. What's the coolest thing that you've ever done with Tiffany out on the road?
Actually, it was one time I actually got pulled over in a weigh station in Oregon for being overweight, and I watched Tiffany get chased by a deer.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep. They had an outhouse at the weigh station. I couldn't move because I was overweight. She got out of the truck to go to the outhouse. And then she was walking. There was a mama deer and a baby deer right behind the bathroom. And she's like, "Oh, how cute!" And Mama chased her.
Hopefully, Mama didn't catch her.
No, she ran into the outhouse and waited in there till the deer left.
Okay, that's cool. See, now that's one of the things that I love the most out here, especially in the summertime. You'll see a lot more families out here on the trucks. A lot more of the wives will come out and a lot of the kids will come out because the kids are out of school. And I think that's so cool that you had your kids ride with you on the truck.
Yep. I love
How old was she?
besides spending time with them, it gives me someone to talk to.
Yeah. How old was she the first time she went out with you?
She was 12, 13.
Wow.
that's
okay.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, I know the last time she was out with you just a couple months ago, you guys were actually cooking together on the truck at night, which I thought was so cool.
Yep, that because it was after my heart attack, and I did all my cooking. You know, since we were comparing appliances and stuff that we had, you know, I picked up a couple more and put in the truck.
What?
Okay, any I should know about?
Well, my wife actually got me. It's an electric smokeless grill.
What?
Okay, that's cool. We need that.
So I can plug it in. You know, I can cook up a steak. I can cook up some pork chops. You know, I can cook up some sausage.
Okay, I got to get with
Now,
Kathy.
how does the smokeless work? It's got a fan, like a downdraft?
No, it's an electric grill that you just plug in, you know, like a griddle that you can get for your house for cooking pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's got the slits like a barbecue.
Very cool. I'm going to have to get with your wife and get the info on that.
But I want to know how it makes it smokeless.
Oh,
It's just a simple fact that it don't smoke. That's all it says.
very cool.
And then she gave me her Instapot for the truck.
Oh, I love our Instapot. That's a lifesaver.
We use that thing at least twice a week.
Yeah. Instapot and Crockpot. That's my two favorites on the truck because you can just throw something in it and let it cook all day. And when you get done driving, you got dinner.
And our electric skillet. We probably use that the most.
My two favorite are the grill and my microwave.
Yeah, microwave.
Do you have the Gallants microwave, the 3-in-1, air fryer and conventional oven?
No, we don't have that because our trucks don't really like them.
Oh, yeah. Or the inverter.
Yeah, the inverter, and we got our company puts in some pretty big inverters for us so we could do this. But I fight a lot of times with my inverter with the grill and the microwave at the same time. You know, when I'm grilling a steak and I need to warm up some or steam some broccoli to put with it, it drains the inverter quite a bit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we have to turn our TV off if we use two appliances at the same time.
I was going to ask you, so we talked about Tiffany being on the truck, and I know that she had talked at one point. I didn't know she was. Do you know, is she still interested in possibly going into trucking and becoming a trucker like her dad?
As far as I know, she is.
I think that's so exciting because she'll turn 21 in October, right?
Yep.
That is so exciting.
I hope she does it.
Well, she'd be good at it because, you know, she's learned a lot from me.
Exactly. That's what I told her because she's asked me a lot of questions about becoming a trucker since I'm a female trucker and what it's like. And I told her, I said, I'm sure everything that your dad taught you has got you prepared for the road.
And we need more women truckers out there.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do because, you know, 90% of your women truckers out there are even better than men.
Yep. They are more safe. I got to say, Angie is definitely a super safe driver.
I had a lady tell me that today. Oh, have you trained a lot of females when you were a trainer?
Not in the driving part. I trained a couple on doubles.
Yeah.
I trained a couple on doubles, and they did not last. They couldn't unload the trailers.
No,
That was the problem. They had a problem unloading the trailers because we had to unload.
Oh, yeah. That would be hard.
They were good drivers. They just couldn't do the unloading part.
but hey, they gave it a shot.
They did. They
Yeah.
really did. I wish some of them would have stuck out or stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when I left, we did not have one female on the team.
Nope. Not
I-
driving anyways, but we had females in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely, I think, over the last few years, I've noticed a huge increase in female drivers out there, which I'm super happy about. So I just definitely hope Tiffany goes into trucking.
Yeah, definitely over the last 5 years, I have seen a lot more.
Yep.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Tail Lights with Chris Richmond.
Using amazing accelerometer technology and a battery that will last for years, Tailbone meets the standards set by the NHTSA and the FMCSA. Learn more by visiting www.frontlane.com/tailbone. That's www.frontlane.com/tailbone. Approved in all 50 states. It's Tailbone by Frontlane.
This blog on tncradio.live is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. 4 truck driving jobs for drivers under 21. So you just turned 18 and you're ready to find a job as a truck driver. But why is it so difficult? According to the United States federal law, a person must be 21 years old to drive a commercial vehicle in interstate commerce. Although you can obtain a CDL by the age of 18, you'll be limited to driving intrastate, and most trucking companies only hire drivers who are 21 years old or older. Also, insurance rates are much higher for trucking companies that employ drivers under the age of 21. But that doesn't mean there aren't truck driving jobs available before you turn 21. There are many jobs you can qualify for at just 18 years old. Although the majority of the truck driving jobs will be within your state lines, it's still a good idea to get your foot in the door and get a few years of experience before you turn 21. Under 21 Pilot Program. The FMCSA launched an Under 21 pilot program that helps Reserve and National Guard members ages 18, 19, and 20 explore civilian trucking careers. Commercial truck drivers are in high demand, and this program helps trucking companies hire disciplined and experienced drivers. For more information, visit www.fmcsa.gov/under21 military-drivers-info. Towing and recovery. Driving a tow truck is typically an intrastate job. While there's no age restriction, besides being 18 years old, some companies may still require you to be 21. Check with some of your local towing companies and ask what the age requirements are. Local delivery driver. Working as a local delivery driver is a great way to gain experience in your trucking career. You can start working for a local store or warehouse and deliver goods right to a customer's door. Here are a few places you can look for local delivery jobs: furniture stores, lumber yards, office supply stores. Dump truck driver. Driving a dump truck may not be your dream job, but it gets your foot in the door, and you can work close to home. Most local businesses will need dump truck drivers to move building materials, dirt, garbage, or other freight. Most truck driving jobs won't become available until you're 21, but you don't have to wait until then to start gaining experience. Getting a few years of experience on your resume before applying for big trucking companies will help during the hiring process. This blog on tncradio.live is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
Hey, rideshare drivers and gig economy workers, the host of TNC Radio.live, the Rideshare Rodeo Podcast, and the Gig Economy Podcast come together for news, talk, music, stories, laughs, and more. We're live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, right here on TNC Radio.live.
Be sure to catch the Truckers Network radio show with your host, Shelley Johnson, weekdays at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on tncradio.live.
Welcome back. Final segment tonight on Taillights with Larry and Angie Baum.
Well, welcome back, Chris. So we've been talking to you for a little bit, and I know that I've had the chance to meet your lovely wife, Kathy, and you've been driving for a long time. What do you think is the hardest part for you, as far as like having to leave home and leave your wife and daughter and grandson and all that?
Just being away from the family. I mean, at least now I'm only gone 5 days a week and I'm home every weekend, so I get to see him more, but it's just those 5 days that I don't get to see him.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part. You miss out on, I'm sure over the last 24 years, you've missed out on so much when the kids were growing up.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. has it ever been hard for you and Kathy being apart and living the life of the trucker and the trucker's wife and not being there for each other all the time?
Actually, it got bad at one point because when Kathy and I first got together, I was home every day working a local gig in the office. She got to see me every day, and then I went back to over the road.
That's a big life change.
Yeah, it is. And so the whole time we were together dating, she was there, and then we get married, and then probably, I'd say a year after we got married, I went back to over the road.
Oh, gosh, that was pretty close, yeah.
Now, when you were over the road, you were gone for how long?
When I first started back over the road, I was gone for pretty much like 3 months at a time.
Wow, and then home for a week?
Home for 3 days.
Oh, my God. That would be hard on her.
And so, but we were able to work through it. And then, like I say, when we left the West Coast to Ohio and I found this job, now I'm gone 5 days a week and home every weekend.
Now, after you're home for the weekend and you say that goodbye, is it still really hard? Even though it's only a week?
Yeah, it's always going to be hard because you never want to leave your family behind.
No.
No, when I was over the road,
I would love for my wife to go out there with me and see what I see, even if it's just for a week, so she can see what I put up with and deal with and do, instead of just me telling her on a phone call at night or telling her when I come home on the weekends what happened. She can actually see it.
I always suggest that to couples. At least go out for at least a week to see what it's like out there.
I had no clue what trucking was about when I first became a truck driver. I was a trucker's wife. And so, like you said, I had Kathy's perspective. I didn't know what it was like. And I tell you what, it was enlightening once I became a trucker and understood the trucking life. It's so different.
Yeah, she told me that she would go out with me as soon as I got a super sleeper.
There you go. She wants more room.
Yeah, she wants more room.
And a bathroom, probably.
Yep.
I don't blame her.
We want a super sleeper also.
Yes, one of those days, hopefully.
Oh, I'd love to have.
We've been promised one, and we're still waiting on it.
Yeah, COVID put a kink in it. Oh, gosh. Well, yeah, I say you drove in California for a long time, and now you've moved over to the East Coast. Now you're over on the Ohio side. So I'm sure it's probably a lot easier over on the Ohio side than when you were in the California area. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so much nicer, especially not having to deal with the 55 speed limit.
I hate 55 in California.
Yes. I don't quite understand why trucks have to go 55 in California. I've never quite understood that.
Never either. But, when I drove out there, I was always happy to get out of California.
That seems to be the sentiment of most drivers.
Yeah. But when I drove in California, I was a local driver, so I pretty much stayed in California the whole time until I went over the road. And it's like, oh, it felt so good to get out of California.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, I have a question for you. So we kind of talked about like from a safety perspective, but if you were training a new trucker, let's say today in 2022, with all the technology has changed, what is the one piece of advice that you would give a trucker besides the safety bubble? Because we see so many new truckers out here that are joining the force, especially within the last 6 months now. They've opened it up to younger people. What would be the one piece of advice you've got?
Don't just rely on your safety equipment and stuff that they're put in the trucks. Use your common sense.
Yeah, especially people who rely on GPS too much.
Yeah,
right.
End up in the middle of the cornfield.
That is they're getting GPSs for cars.
Right.
Yeah.
I
have a truck GPS in my truck, but you know what? Right next to my seat, I still have my Rand McNally.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they don't. That's not a requirement in CDL school, that they don't teach you how to utilize the Rand McNally to do your trip planning. But it's not. Everybody relies solely on their GPS, and then we hear of all the horror stories of
they taught me in school.
Yeah, trucks going the wrong direction. And
when I did my CDL training so many years ago, that was one of the things they taught us was how to trip plan with the map.
Yep, me too.
They didn't teach me, sorry.
But I think that was before Google Maps.
Right. Everybody relies on Google Maps now. But yeah, like you said, that's an important thing. I mean, they need to get GPS as for truckers because it'll show you those streets that we're not allowed to go to. It'll show you way stations that are coming up. Important stuff. But yeah, trip planning is an important thing that I think too often is not taught.
I had to back down the street because the bridge was too low. The overhead was too low. We were picking up. It was like right on the other side.
Oh, no.
And remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our pickup was right on the other side of this bridge, but the bridge was too low for me to get, so I had to back up and go around it.
Yeah, and actually our truck GPS said we would make it. We're like, no, we won't. I think it was a 13.2 bridge, and we're like, yep.
It was a 13.3.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah. Too often, I think that's how truckers get into trouble. They don't read their road signs. For example, bridge heights, which is important. They don't do their trip planning, and they rely too much on their GPS and technology, not using, your random analogy atlas to get around.
Yeah, and see, you got to watch your bridge heights once you get east of the Mississippi because they're all weird, anyways.
Absolutely. There was another question I was going to have for you, and I forgot it.
Well, in that case, let's take a quick moment, and we got about a minute and a half left. Larry and Angie, how can people find you, find out more about you? Tell us about your Facebook pages and other things that you're working on.
You can find us on Facebook. We are Married, 2, the Road. We also have Trucker Safety Info on Facebook, which is where I do weather
Just open up the internet. You'll find us.
There you go.
Yeah, just type in Angie and Larry Baum. You'll find us.
and spell the last name for everybody.
Baum.
B as in boy, A-U-M as in Mary.
Yep.
All right.
Larry will be the crazy one with the crazy looking beard.
Well, hey, we really appreciate y'all being here tonight. We appreciate Chris. Thank you very much for joining us. You've been listening to TNC Radio.live. This is Taillights. Any last words?
Just be safe out there, everybody, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Be safe out there.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Talk to you next week.
Goodbye.
Hey, this is the Road Hammers. You're listening to TNC Radio.live.
You're listening to TNC Radio.live, Houston, Texas. This station is owned and operated by Emson.